And he'll tell you that he's negatively motivated. I am, and he'll try to tell you that that's why I'm in his life, which is untrue. I think God sovereignly placed Shane in my life to motivate me. Negatively. Because that's the way I'm motivated. If you're a child psychologist, negative reinforcement works well, right? No, it doesn't. So anyway, now I had to really try to write this song after he's like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard, you know? And so I'm like, I'm going to show him I'm going to write this song. It's going to be awesome. And so I went back. I was staying in Kansas City, actually, Missouri. And I went back and I wrote the first verse of a song that I wanted to call Burn Us Up. And then I read it back to myself, kind of sang it back to myself. And then I was like, he was right. And it was such a massive failure that we are going to try to play it for you. It's just a verse. And maybe it's not a failure. Maybe it's an awesome verse. Maybe it's an awesome verse. This is called Burn Us Up. Version 1. Oh I don't know if you see anything wrong with that, but it's a really bad rap song. Except most of that's true. The sweet ad-libs have been added. Yeah, it's added to a later date. I'm a hype man. Yes. But I wrote that verse, and I was so moved by this one line in the story of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. But that was such a failure of an attempt to write a song that it took me like a year to get over that. And it's literally almost exactly a year later, our CD was about to come out. And right before the biggest fiery furnaces of our lives, the Lord sort of led me to just finish the song and without the names in it. You know, He won that deal. And I wanted to finish it because of this one line in the story. You know, I became a Christian in high school. I didn't grow up as a believer. My family, they weren't believers. So this was a new story to me, you know. In high school, I remember in Sunday school, you know, seeing this on the chalkboard. Shadrach was like blue crayon, Meshach was like green crayon, little Slimer, fourth being over them, and then fiery flames, and they're like big smiles in the fire. It was real confusing the first time I saw it. But I remember this story, and when I read it again, I was just reading through Daniel. If you've never read this story, Daniel chapter 3, I was just reading through it again, and I got to the part. I'll just tell you the one line that did it for me, and the reason why I read the song. They're before the king, and they basically said, King Nebuchadnezzar, our God is able to deliver us from your fiery furnace. And He did. That's what I remembered. Everything is totally on par up to this point as I'm reading through this story again. Our God is able to deliver us from your fire furnace. And then there's a comma there, and then there's this line that I don't remember in high school that changed the story for me. It really did. It changed it. And they said, our God is able to deliver us from your fire furnace. But know this, that even if He doesn't, we're still not going to die. And I don't know where you're at in this room in life, but if you're in a fiery furnace and maybe you're in that same place that He has been in, like I said, right when we were recording this, that was on our lips. You know, our God is able to heal. Our God is able to deliver. We know, we believe He split the Red Sea. But even if He doesn't, we're going to trust Him. We're going to trust Him. if we feel our flesh burn up, we're still going to trust that He's a good God, and that He's a sovereign God, and that He knows what's best for us. And so you can do that with our God. You can do that. And so be inspired if you're in the fire furnace by these guys' story. It's a great story. And if you're not in a fire furnace, you will be soon. Merry Christmas and
Thank you.